What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about My Bloody Valentine 3D. So this is a movie that I have seen before, and you know what? I'm a pretty darn big fan of it. I liked it the initial times that I've seen it, and after rewatching it, I'm still a fan. Uh, this is gonna sound a little bit crazy, but I actually saw the remake, like the My Bloody Valentine 3D from 2009. I saw that before I ever even saw the original, and I reviewed the original on the channel. It was like a first time watch for me, and the 1981 original was absolutely fantastic. It knocked my socks off. Like, that movie was the bomb.com, and that's not like an 80s slasher that you really hear about, but oh my goodness gracious, was that a good movie. So yeah, I really like that. But the this is okay. This is kind of what they talk about with this is like one talking point that I hear with remakes, and I agree with this, where some people hate on remakes because they think they're inferior, they think they're just some like a cash grab. But I really do believe that remakes are they're almost like a gateway drug into the classics. So with I think remakes do put a lot of younger folks on to the classics. Like, I don't know, like when I was growing up, I was growing up when this came out. I got the DVD right here, gotta flex it. That's obligatory. We flex DVDs on this channel. I should be flexing Blu-rays or 4K Blu-rays, but I'm not that cool, so I'm just flexing DVDs at the moment. But this cover is so iconic. I mean, this is ingrained in my brain. I remember like growing up, going to Blockbuster, going to different stores, going to different video stores. I would always see this cover. This cover's iconic. All the remakes from that era, to me, are iconic and nostalgic because I grew up in the 2000s, so I was like growing up with the 2009 Friday the 13th remake. I didn't watch when I was a kid, but this came out when I was a kid. This came out when I was like 11. So like this, all these covers, I remember like going to Blockbuster. I would see My Bloody Valentine 3D. I would see the Nightmare on Elm Street remake cover. Even though I'm not a fan of that, like, I thought the cover was so cool, and I would see the Friday the 13th remake cover, and the Halloween remake cover, and Halloween 2, blah blah blah. And the covers were so cool, and to me, like, this era is nostalgic. Some people might not mess with these, but since I feel like I'm partial to this era of remakes, because that's when I was like a kid growing up. So, you know, it's a lot of this is like, a lot of the reason why I like a lot of these is nostalgia. Someone who was born in the late 70s or mid 70s, and they grew up with the 80s stuff, like when it was coming out. They probably, they might, well, not probably, I don't want to make generalizations, they might not like these as much as I do. But since I was born in like late 90s, like, this is like what I grew up on, seeing this stuff. So I really do like this stuff, even though I like the classics. But I do really believe, like I was saying earlier, to bring it back, I do really believe that remakes are a good gateway drug into the classics for young people, because let me take a sip break real quick. This is a late night video. Usually I'm sober October, like while I record, because I take it seriously, but I've been on my like Sigma grind set lately. I've just been busy, so I'm doing like a late night video. So I'm sipping straight bum juice, straight like homeless person alcohol. I'm sipping that natural ice, 5.9%. It's good for you. It gets the blood pumping. It's very nice. But yeah, I gotta take a little sip break right quick. But yeah, I think remakes are a good gateway. I think they put a lot of young people on to the classics. Like I think I said this. I did review the 2009 Friday the 13th, but literally that was the first Friday the 13th I ever saw. Like I went to the theater in 2009. I saw that. That was the first one I ever saw. And then like as I got older, I revisited the other ones, and I love countless movies in that franchise. Like for the Halloweens, I saw the older ones first, but a lot of franchises I saw the remake before I saw the older iteration, like the original iteration, and it like this. I saw this first, and I think this movie is good, but I love the 1981 classic. You know, like I wouldn't. But like this put it into my head, you know. So when I was younger, but like now, like I'm almost like a nerd with like the 80s horror. Like I've seen so many. I'm like a straight up nerd with that junk. Like I've seen so many 80s horror films. Like a lot of deep cuts. Like a lot of real niche stuff. So I know about that nowadays. But I think people who are hating on remakes, I think even nowadays with the requels, you know, I kind of hate on those, but a lot of them I haven't even seen. I'm like reluctant to even watch new iterations of movies because I'm like, oh, they're gonna ruin it, or they don't need all these sequels. But I'm kind of being an old head. But I'm like 27 now, so I'm like I can be an old head because I'm, you know, I've been there, done that type shit. But that's not even that old, but I don't know. Once you hit like mid-20s, once you get to late 20s, you're old head. Like that's just how it goes. You just start thinking like an old head. But basically, like I think it's cool to always have remakes and requels, even if I don't like it personally. I think it's cool to put the young, like the young people on to these classic franchises where maybe they love the new one and that resonates with them, but they go back and check out the old one. So I really like that. And that talking point took forever, but this is why I don't, it's like, you know, you can't drink and drive, you can't drink and do a movie review because I mean, listen, like this junk gets me talkative. So I mean, I'm not even usually like very concise. Like I'll just be rambling for like 22 minutes usually. So like, yeah, whenever I'm sipping, the video ends up being like 30 minutes. But listen, okay, I okay, I don't like I don't know if I have like a lot of regular viewers, but here's the deal. I really like doing YouTube, and like I do this because I like it, right? So I try to consistently upload. Like I try to get, like every time I have a day off, I try to do a video, and like I have like that, like whatever it takes mentality. Like I'm watching the movie at like in 10-minute increments on my phone, and it's like I got this and that going on, but it's like I'm gonna get the movie watched, I'm gonna get the video out. It's not like I do a lot for these videos, I don't edit them, but it's like I want to get the video done for me. But like if I have regular viewers too, like I try to get these videos out. So it's like the reason this video is coming out late night and I'm sipping and blah blah blah, like it might be like seem like I'm being like a little bit unprofessional with it, but like I gotta get these videos done. I'm like, if I got a day off, if I don't have like I gotta get 2 videos done a week. So I hope people appreciate that if they are a regular viewer. I don't know if I have regular viewers, but I'm not like expecting people to appreciate it. But like, you know, I at the end of the day I do this because I like it. But like if people do regularly watch, like I hope they appreciate that. Like I'm just trying to get these videos out for me, but also for y'all's is if you do appreciate them, you know? So like, cause like at the end of the day, like I feel like, you know, this is just fun, but like I do, since I got some subscribers going on, like I don't have like a lot, but like it's like I got like a responsibility, like it's like I gotta hook y'all's up with some videos, you know, cause it's like what the F are you subscribing for? Like you want to see these videos, so I gotta hook y'all's up. But anyways, this video is gosh darn it, it's so long. Okay. Okay, so let me rein it in. So I kind of went off on a tangent, but anyways, let me jump into a plot summary. So basically, the at the beginning of the movie, there's this gentleman, Tom. He's this inexperienced miner. He causes this accident where these miners are trapped, and this one miner, Harry Warden, he kills all the other people that he's trapped with to conserve oxygen, and then a year later, like he's in like a coma. A year later he wakes up. He kills a bunch of more. He kills a bunch more people. Not a bunch of more. He kills a bunch more people, and then now in present like Tom, he dipped after that. Present day, Tom has come back to his original town, and like even though Harry Warden was killed after his second little stint of murders, new murders are taking place, and the murderer is, you know, he's rocking a miner mask, miner gear, and he's wielding a pickaxe. So people think it might be Harry Warden. They don't know who it is, but there's killings taking place involving someone wearing a miner costume, not costume, but miner gear with a pickaxe. They think it might be Harry Warden. They think it might be whomever, but there's killings taking place in present day. So that is the basic plot summary. I already talked about the nostalgia factor. Now I want to get into the... Okay, so this movie, it's called My Bloody Valentine 3D. It's set on Valentine's Day, so you would think there would be a romantic element. Well, you're smart, you're correct. There is a romantic element, and something that I really liked about this movie is that there were not only if there was one love triangle, I would be happy, but we got 2 love triangles, and I actually wrote a diagram, and I thought it'd be funny to show it in the video. This is like what I do for notes. Can you see that? That's my handwriting. I don't know. I mean, nowadays that's probably pretty good handwriting. I've seen some fools with like way worse handwriting. But yeah, that's the diagram of the love triangles. So yeah, like basically we have a love hexagon in this movie, and I thought that was one of the most entertaining parts of the of the movie, not the video, of the movie, and I don't know, it perfectly fit with the Valentine's theme. You got to have a little romantic angle, right? So, but yeah, it provided some great drama in between the more horror-centric, action-centric segments of the movie. So you had one love triangle between Tom, Axel, and Sarah. So Tom used to date Sarah, but then she, like Tom dipped and Sarah married Axel. They got a kid. And then, but like Axel, he's a total player. He has an affair with every woman in the community because it's this small mining town. So he's basically uh, he's basically hooked up with every single woman in the town. Like whenever there's like a female who is killed, it's like Axel had a fling with her. Like he's hooked up with every single girl in this small town. Like homeboy is he's the biggest player. I mean, maybe it's not big because it's a small town, but I mean for a guy like me, like I'm like thinking like, yo, homeboy's like out here killing it. So there's also a love triangle between Axel, Sarah, and Megan, who is this girl who works with Sarah. So I mean, you got the double whammy love triangle. It's in line with the Valentine's Day theme, and it's entertaining. It's like a soap opera. It's like a drama. It's like a romance film. I like romance films, you know. So I rock with it. It fits with the Valentine's theme. It's great. And okay, speaking of Axel, wait, I gotta take a sip break right quick. I have to like announce if I'm gonna take a break, but it's like I gotta be talking the whole time. You know, it's like it takes so much time to take a sippity sip. Um, but yeah, like that would be sick if I got like a sponsor one day. Like if I was one day, if I blew up on YouTube, if I got like a sponsor from like a alcoholic a beverage and or a male enhancement supplement. That would be sick. Like if like Blue Chew wants to sponsor me, I'll do a paid ad read every video. Like I'll make that junk funny AF. Sponsor me, Blue Chew. But anyway, or like Honey Pack. If people know about Honey Packs, that's like basically it's like honey, but it's like Viagra. Basically, if they want to holler at me, throw me some cash. You don't even gotta throw me that much cash. Like it would just be fun. I just believe in the product. So yeah, like I'll definitely sponsor y'all. Just give you a little ad read on here. But anyways, um, speaking of sexual relations, yeah, I kind of talked about this. Axel getting with every single chick. So there's this like one girl who is killed, and it's like, oh, Axel had a fling with her, and this girl was nude for like the longest time, and I'm telling you what, this is crazy because okay, so she's completely nude. She's not even wearing socks or underwear, excuse me, or like anything. Like she is completely nude. She doesn't have one piece of clothing on her, and it feels like this sequence where she is naked lasts probably it feels like it lasts like 3 minutes or more. And I just thought that was crazy, like the duration of the nudity sequence. I know I'm going off on a tangent. I was gonna talk about more of like the love triangle stuff, but I gotta talk about this just because I remembered it. I thought that was crazy, the duration, but also like, you know, this was the tail end of when movies really showed some skin. You know, like I, the 2009 Friday the 13th had quite a bit of nudity, and you got some famous lines surrounding the nudity, like "Your tits are stupendous." I mean, that's an iconic line. Shouts out Trent. He's a nice, upstanding citizen. He's a pillar of society. But basically, you know, this like 2009 wave of horror remakes, like this is like the late 2000s. This is as late as you can get in the 2000s. This is like the last year. Like this was like the last wave of horror movies still having nudity, and you know, people hate on the remake era, but the remake era, it was true to the I feel like it was true to the 80s. Like I love like the 80s stuff is untouchable. That's it's like 80s music. It's like you can't touch it. Like it's it's classic. It's iconic. It's like it's there's just something about it. It's just magical. But I feel like this remake era, they kind of captured not all of the magic, but quite a bit of the magic of that era, and they recreated it with a polished feel, or sometimes like a new twist. Like there was like after the late 2000s, like in the early 2010s, I don't really recall many horror movies having nudity, and nowadays you like barely see movies with nudity unless it's like a super artsy film. Like I don't think there's really, oh goodness gracious, I spilled. I don't think there's really nudity in horror movies nowadays, and it's not like I'm like some perv and I need nudity, but it's the type of thing, like it's like par for the course. It's you know, a lot of horror movies, they're so formulaic, and that's kind of why they're enjoyable. Like I genuinely I genuinely appreciate horror films. Like they just, something about them really resonates with me, but there's like a formulaic quality to them where people make fun of that, like, oh, they're so predictable, they're the same, every movie is like the same but slightly different. But I feel like I've always said this, like this was something that I said about horror movies, like for like I've been saying this for like a minute, but like I feel like the formulaic aspect of horror movies is kind of, it's like they're like the comfort food of movies. Like you know what you're gonna get. It's gonna be, you know what you're gonna get, but it's gonna be like slightly different. It's like a guy in a mask killing people. You're gonna see some beautiful women. You're gonna see some nudity. There might be some funny stuff. There might be a whodunit element. Like I like the formulaic nature of horror films, and like I said, I'm not a perv. I could see nudity. I got the internet. I could see nudity easily. I could type in a thing. Like I don't even seek out nudity like that. Like I don't even really care like that. Like I'm not really like, I mean, I like women's and stuff, but I'm not really like seeking it out like that. But basically, like that's kind of like I don't know. That's part of like horror movie culture. It might not be good. Like maybe it's good that they don't do it nowadays, because it could be like, you could look at it like it's like objectifying, you know, certain people. So it's like maybe it's not good. So maybe it's good that they stop doing it. But like just me on some, like as like a viewer, I just look at it like it's like that's like a thing like I know to expect. And like as like a, you know, I'm like a heterosexual gentleman, so it's like I appreciate that stuff. But yeah, I just think it's crazy that this this was like the this era, this was like the last movie. I mean, not the last movie. These movies from this era, like these 2009 or 2008, 2009 movies, these were like, or even 2007, these were like the last movies where they're like horror movies, slasher movies, and they had nudity. Like nowadays, this is like a relic of the past, and this isn't even that old. Like where nowadays, like slasher movies do not have nudity, and you know, I don't have a problem with that, but I just think it's crazy how, you know, you can see so much has changed, but like this era was kind of it. I don't know, this remake era. That's what I'm saying. Like it came out. It came out at the. I feel like it. This era happened during the perfect time where I think the requel era or whatever era we're on now is cool. Younger people are getting put on to all these classic franchises. There's a lot of creative stuff happening, but you know, like nowadays you could not get away with like a lot of stuff that was taking place in this era, and this era kind of paid homage and tried to recreate the 80s, but with, you know, a little bit more polish. It was like a little bit more technically advanced, and I really liked that. So I just thought it was, yeah, it was crazy that this was like the tail end of when movies, like horror movies, had nudity, and the nudes was like the nude scene in this was, it was like the most prolonged, excessive nude scene I've seen in my entire life. Like, this girl, she was wearing zero clothes. She didn't even have one sock on. She didn't even have underwear on. And she was like walking around for like 3-4 minutes. Like they're like, you know what? We're only gonna be able to get away with this for a couple more years, so we might as well make the sequence 3 or 4 minutes. I had to like do a double take when I was rewatching this. I'm like, am I watching a Hollywood movie, or is this like triple X? Is this like adult? I can't say the P word, I don't think, on YouTube. I'm trying to get monetized one day, but I was thinking like, yo, is this some like adult film? Like what am I even watching right now? But anyways, I just think that was like interesting, and I talked about that for a long time, but yeah, like I just think that's I like where movies are at now, and I like a lot of new movies, and I'm not a hater. I'm trying not to be an old head, so yeah, but like this was like the last era with nudity, and they went all out in this. So another thing that I kind of talked about this video so long, but whatever. I kind of talked about Axel being kind of a player, but it was kind of funny, his little banter with, there's like a couple lines that I have to bring up because they were just so funny. So basically, Axel, he, like, okay, Tom was dating Sarah before she married Axel, and Tom is like trying to get back with Sarah, and he said like some crazy stuff, like Tom is like, yeah, she settled with you, and those are fighting words, right? So I mean, what does Axel do? Immediately punches Tom in the face. Like, I mean, come on, you can't say that. So I mean, he did what he had to do, and I thought that was so funny. He was just like Tom was just like pushing Axel's buttons, and then there was like another instance where, you know, Axel was getting mad about Tom kind of trying to get with Sarah, and he's like, this is my wife we're talking about here, okay? We have a house together, we have a kid together, I have sex with her. Like, I just thought that was so, like, when he was like, I have sex with her, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, why do you have to bring up that you have sex with her? Like, it's your wife and you have a kid together. Like, obviously you have sex with her. Like, why do you have to bring that up? Like, it's like weird flex, but okay. Like, why do you have to bring up that he's like, listen, this is my wife we're talking about here. I have sex with this woman. Like, are you like humble bragging right now? Like, my voice is like cracking because it's just like, it's honestly that funny. Like, he's like, why do you gotta brag about having sex with your wife? Like, everyone has sex with their wife, dude. Like, come on. Like what else? What do you guys do? Like, of course you have sex sometimes. Like, he's like, you don't understand, man. I have sex with it. That junk was so funny. Like, some moments of this movie were pretty funny. Okay, I think this video is gonna be like an hour long, so I'm gonna be uploading this mad late. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But anyways, I got to talk about this talk. I have like 3 more talking points. All right, so let me take a break. Sip break. Sip hydration. Gatorade. Gatorade. Water sucks. Water sucks. I drink Gatorade. We drink a Gatorade. We sponsored by Natural Ice. Not really. I don't want to get a lawsuit. I am not sponsored by Natural Ice. But if they would like to sponsor me, I think it's a great beverage. I think it tastes great. I think it makes you feel nice. And it's fantastic. It gets you going. It gets the people going. It's my paid promotion, but it's unpaid. But I'm trying to get that Natural Ice sponsorship. You already know. But anyways, moving along here. Okay, so this is a 3D movie. So the thing with 3D is it's kind of a gimmick, right? You know, a lot of you got a lot of suits. You got a lot of people wearing white shirts, black ties, black suits saying, you know what we need for this movie? You know what this movie is lacking? 3D. If we make it 3D, it'll be an event and we'll make $2 more million. We'll make $3 more million. So yeah, 3D is a gimmick. It's a cash grab a lot of the time. And a lot of the time 3D ruins a movie's rewatchability, as well as a lot of the time 3D makes it so a movie doesn't age as well, because you're not going to rewatch the movie in 3D. You're going to rewatch it in 2D, and a lot of the gimmicky 3D stuff might hinder your overall experience. So this movie, it's in the title, My Bloody Valentine 3D. It was, initially released in 3D. But here's the deal. For the most part, I don't think that the 3D hinders the rewatchability or makes this movie age poorly, because I've only watched this movie in 2D, and there's the 3D sequences that are kind of goofy looking are few and far between. So I don't think the fact that this movie was shot in 3D and initially released in 3D, I don't think that ruins the rewatchability. I think you could watch this movie in 2D, and for the most part, it's still totally enjoyable. So I wanted to mention that. I'm being quick with my points now because this video is long and I have to go to the bathroom, and I got work tomorrow morning, and I'm trying to wrap it up. So anyways, I gotta mention Tom Atkins. He's a certified legend. So Tom Atkins, we got to talk about him. So he's in this movie, if you didn't know, and me personally, I'm a huge fan. He's Dan Chalice in Halloween 3. Okay, Halloween 3, to be 100% honest, I'm going to be transparent. I'm not the biggest Halloween 3 fan ever. Like, it's not one of my favorite Halloweens, but I love Dan Chalice in Halloween 3 because, what am I doing right now? I'm sipping alcoholic beverages. What does Dan Chalice do? He sips alcoholic beverages. He says, hold on, it's getting late. I need a drink. And then, Miss Greenbridge, that's a silly question. Like, Dan Chalice he's the best character ever. Like, I'm not the hugest Halloween 3 fan ever. Like, but Tom Atkins absolutely kills it in Halloween 3. The Fog, am I the biggest fan of The Fog? There's so many John Carpenter movies like They Live, I love. Prince of Darkness, I love it. There's so many John Carpenter movies that I love. Like The Fog, do I love it? I don't love it, but do I love Tom Atkins in The Fog? Absolutely. Night of the Creeps, oh my goodness gracious, that's like that's like one of my, this is gonna sound nuts because this is more of an obscure movie, but like Night of the Creeps, I love. That's like one of my favorite horror movies ever. So I love Night of the Creeps. Maniac Cop is cool too. I'm a big Tom Atkins fan, so to see him in this, like that like sells the movie for me. It's like oh, Tom Atkins is in this, like bet, like I'm there, like I'm watching it, like he's the man. And something that I noticed while rewatching this is just, dude, Tom Atkins, he was significantly older in this. He would, but he didn't, he like that you could like he was still going hard AF, like he was still doing his thing. He went like I like he didn't miss a beat. Like in all those 80s movies, he was iconic, he was the man, like he's still that guy. And yeah, I love Tom Atkins. He seems cool. Like I always watch this podcast, The Skeleton Crew. They interviewed him. He just seems like a cool dude. And the fact that like, he was still doing his thing in this movie, and he absolutely kilted it. Like he stealed the show. Like like every time he was on screen, I loved it. Like I gotta pay homage to Tom Atkins. I gotta salute Tom Atkins. So basically, the Tom Atkins factor was a 10 out of 10. I mean, he wasn't a main character, but when he was on screen, he killed it. He did not disappoint. So shouts out Tom Atkins. And then the last point I have is kills. This is a slasher movie. You gotta talk about the kills. I thought the kills were great. They were, most of the kills involved the pickaxe, so there was a decent bit of variety. Even though it was like mostly pickaxe kills, there was still some variety. But the thing that I really liked about this movie, it was like brutal. And even though there was quite a bit of CGI, it's 2009, CGI was a thing at the time. A lot of the kills were practical, and I just thought this movie was brutal. It was hardcore. The kills were great. This movie, it checks all the marks, and I think, personally, this is one of the better remakes of this era. I've always liked it, so yeah. In terms of a recommendation, I would definitely recommend My Bloody Valentine 3D. I think it's a great movie. It's a great standalone movie. It's a great remake of the 1981 classic, and yeah, it's a great movie to watch every Valentine's Day. So if you have not seen it, definitely check it out. But that has been my recommendation, and that has been my review of My Bloody Valentine 3D. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.